Hello, it's been a while. I'm going to continue reading The Beast of Buckingham Palace today. Last time I read chapters 7 and 8, where we were introduced to a new character called Mite, M-I-T-E. And we found out that she had snuck into the palace in order to try and find something to eat. And then she disappeared out of the junk room that Nanny and Prince Alfred had managed to find themselves in. So let's go for chapter 9. Again, it's quite short, so I'll read chapter 10 as well. So chapter 9, Festering. What a nasty little wretch, was Nanny's verdict. She was just hungry, reasoned Alfred. She's a thief, young man, and thieves like her belong in the tower. The prince wasn't so sure. She was only a child like him, and she was hungry. It wasn't right that the people of Britain lived like that. Now, my little prince, we need to get you back to your bedroom. Alfred didn't want to go back. Being in his bedroom was boring, and he had detective work to do. Not now, Nanny. Yes, now. The question is, how? Alfred peered around the room of junk and spotted a bicycle. Could I cycle back? Nanny did not look convinced. Do you know how to ride a bike? No. Well, I would say no then. Not really time for lessons right now. No, I suppose not. The pair fell silent for a moment before the old lady exclaimed, Oh, Nanny has an idea, and it's a goodie. What? Hide in that old pram. The pram? Now it was Alfred's turn to look unconvinced. Yes, I am not getting into a pram. You never used to complain. That was when I was a baby. What use is the pram anyway? I can pretend I'm using it to wheel some clean blankets up to your bedroom. At this late hour? Yes, I'll say you've wet the bed. Alfred was not impressed. He hadn't wet the bed for, well, a long, long time. He peered into the pram. It was full of festering old blankets that must have been damp for decades. Now they had things growing on them, and the things had things growing on them, and the things growing on them had things growing on them too. In there? He asked, incredulous. Yes, in there. You mean actually inside the pram? Yes, of course inside, you great nit. But it stinks. Stinky is better than dead. Now come on, climb in. In truth, the smell was rank, which, as you might remember, is higher up the stinky scale than stinky is. The old lady smiled an expectant smile. Alfred sighed and with real difficulty clambered into the pram. It was so tight that his knees were wedged up to his chin. What's more, it was even more pugnacious than he first thought. The smell was positively medieval, which may have been the era when those blankets had last been washed. I'm in, said Alfred, covering his mouth for fear that he might barf. Oh, I'd better cover you up, said Nanny, pulling a musty old blanket over his head. Now he really felt that he might barf. So, Alfred, remember not to sneeze or cough or anything else, ordered Nanny. Or you'll give the game away. Ready, my little prince? No, he replied, pulling the cover back. Ah, cooed Nanny, you look like you did when you were a baby. And Alfred didn't find this in the least bit amusing. The Lord Protector, he remembered. He locked my bedroom from the outside. He won't be able to get in. Don't you worry. Nanny always carries a spare key, she said, fishing it out of her cardigan pocket. Clever Nanny. Now, come on, little baby, back to sleep, she snorted to herself, her teeth going clickety-clack in her mouth. In a grump now, Alfred pulled the revolting blanket over his head. As soon as he had, the old lady wheeled the pram to the correct spot on the floor of the junk room. She turned the hand on the carriage clock anti-clockwise, and the pair spun round into the library. Chapter 10. Metal Menace. Looking up from the pram, Alfred asked, What book was that person looking for at this late hour? Oh, I don't have a clue, replied Nanny. You were looking for a book here in the library too, Nanny. Was I? Yes. What was the name of it? Shh! Shushed Nanny, or someone will hear us. And with that, she wheeled the pram out of the library and down one of the palace's long, sweeping corridors. The wonky wheel made it difficult to steer. Squeak, squeak, squeak. And Nanny kept bashing the pram into the wall. Bonk! Ow! Complained the boy. Shush! Shushed Nanny again, louder this time. The shush was so loud that it was hardly a shush at all. Squeak, squeak, squeak. She bashed the pram into the wall again. Bonk! Squeak, squeak, squeak. Bonk! Alfred grimaced. At this rate, he'd be lucky to get back to his bedroom alive. Next, he heard the sound of something trundling. Oh no, he thought. Not the Octobutt. That's the last thing they needed right now. Good morning, Archbishop, the robot announced. Will you be quiet, you blasted thing, hissed Nanny. I have warmed your socks. They are nice and toasty. The boy thought he could smell burning. Out of my way, you metal menace, said the old lady. Crash! Next, Alfred could feel the wheels of the pram bump over something. Clank! Something metal. He looked past Nanny and saw that the accident-prone robot had lost yet another one of its arms. The one with the little spoon attached for stirring tea was now lying twitching on the floor. I will post your boiled egg onto you, it called out after them. Shh! Shushed Nanny before pushing the prince's head back into the pram. Get down! As he was wheeled around the palace, Alfred listened intently. He was trying to work out from the sounds around him where exactly he was. All of a sudden, he could feel the pram being heaved up a sweeping staircase that led all the way from the bottom of the palace to the top. Shunt, 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 shunt. Nanny, there must be hundreds of stairs, he protested. Shh, she shushed. Someone might hear you. We're never going to make it. I said shush. Shunt, shunt, shunt. Nanny, I'm scared you're going to let go. I will if you don't shut up. Shunt, shunt, shunt. Now they were halfway up the staircase, and all of a sudden Alfred heard a voice. Nanny, said the voice. Not just any voice. It was the Lord Protector's voice. Oh, right, we'll do chapter 11 next time. See you next time.